Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Film Production Podcast. The jingle's playing, guys. Yeah, it might not be actually. I don't know if the jingle is actually playing.
Okay.
I didn't know we had a jingle.
We do.
Or a film podcast, so.
Well, there you go. It's Anchor FM, guys. Film Production Podcast. University of Salford are doing a podcast. I'm ill, so if I go, hey, at some point, that's my problem. I'm Charlie. I'm with Dylan Fletcher today. Harriet.
That's fine, just move on.
And Alex today. Hi, guys.
Hello.
How are we doing? Are we good? How is it? How are we all?
I am very fine, thank you. I'm not happy that Joker has gotten this many nominations.
Oh yeah, that's what
That's
we're
my
talking about
emotional
today.
Starting to complain about Joker already.
It's the Oscars, guys.
We're 30 seconds in.
We're 30 seconds in, and Dylan has already mentioned how much he hates Joker.
What better way to start?
I hate the Oscars
Why?
because they're trash.
I mean,
I have very strong opinions about why I hate the Oscars, but I'd like to hear why should I watch the Oscars?
Well, A, because there is nothing more fun than staying up incredibly late with your friends and getting to that point of complete madness where, you know, you are the best person ever to talk about film when in reality all you're saying is like a mumble of words and just nothingness and possibly expletives, you know?
And what better time than 3 a.m. when you're sleep deprived?
Yeah, to do that.
And you want to sleep, but you also want to see Joaquin Phoenix not get a win for Best Actor.
And then you want to come into uni the next day on about 2 hours of sleep and have to talk to people who haven't watched it and realise that your entire brain is so focused on that you'll never be able to get anything done.
Yeah, I just like complaining about it, shouting at the TV a bit.
Oh, I like looking at the dresses. 'Cause
Treat
I'm
it like
girl.
a football match.
Yeah, treat it like a
it's
football
a bit of a
match.
football
Come on,
match,
Greta
isn't it?
Gerwig.
Okay, so
Let's
what?
stop there.
Okay, can we
Let's
just
start with
can
the
we actually
Joker.
just start like why is Joker a bad film? Because honestly, I don't think it is that as bad as you are making it out to be.
It's because we live in a society.
We do live in a
live
society,
You
but
beat me to it.
It's the bleakest film I have ever seen in my life.
do you like it though?
I hate it. I've never left the cinema more miserable than after I watched Joker.
Is that not a tribute to exactly what it was intending to do,
No,
though?
that wasn't what it was
No.
intended to do, though.
It was intended to be its own thing and not a rip-off of Taxi Driver and King of Comedy.
It's like if you tried to make Taxi Driver without having seen Taxi Driver and you only had a tenner. And also you put like terrible music choices underneath it.
So
Oh,
all
God.
of you hate the Joker.
I quite liked it.
You're just playing devil's advocate at this
Well,
point.
I mean, I can still enjoy something whilst it's still being bad. I think Cats is one of the greatest things ever created. It's still
Amen,
terrible.
Amen.
Like
Justice for cats.
Justice for
Justice for
Cats.
Cats.
It's still the worst thing in the entire world. Like Joker's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. There's
No.
been a massive hate train for it, and it's much easier to hate it now than to like it. Because when it first came out, everybody and their mum thought it was the best thing that's ever been created, and then slowly there's been this build up of people going because that's how film works.
What?
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you guys hate it from the start?
For me, it was... I didn't know what to expect going in. I'd heard good things, and I was looking forward to it. And then it reached the halfway point, and I thought, hold on a minute, I've seen this before. Oh yeah, this is literally the plot of Taxi Driver. And that...
but
really-
with Batman theme.
Yeah, but with even more just on-the-nose expression. It doesn't have a theme.
I was in a bad mood
It's
going
just-
in because I was meant to see Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon that day. And I was really excited for that. And then I missed the train and
You had
missed
to
the
watch Joker
screening. And I was
instead.
like, oh, I have to watch something. Went into Joker and it just wasn't as fun as Shaun the Sheep. So that's why I hated it.
What
Did
if it
you-
was the other way round? What if a kid wanted to see Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon, but they got there too late?
And they had to
"Oh,
watch
man,
Joker
I've got to see
instead.
Joker. And then the 8-year-old boy walks in on a scene as he smothers his mother in the
my
hospital bed. Sorry, spoilers for Joker.
If you haven't seen Joker at this point, you really
Don't.
should have.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, no, just
Just
don't.
watch
No,
Taxi Driver
no.
and do comedy
Did
instead.
you not find though with the Joker when he was doing the dancing scenes?
I
Was
hated
that
it.
was that not the most cinematic thing you've ever experienced?
No.
Just
I
someone
just-
doing this in a bathroom.
I don't know, I just found it a bit
It was a bit
Pointless.
pretentious, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
It was
A
out
little
of
bit.
place. It's like you've just killed 3 people. Spoilers for Joker. And you're in a bathroom. You're terrified. What'd you do? Oh, I've been practicing Just Dance, on the Wii.
Yeah.
Break a boogie.
I think. Well, what about? Do you know what really got me was that scene where he has that big fridge in his house, right? One of those classic
Oh, yeah.
1960s style fridges. He opens the door and he climbs inside and he shuts the door. You can't open those fridges he would have locked himself in the fridge and died in the fridge. That's where the film should have ended.
That would have
Yeah.
been a great
I thought that's where it was going to end, to be honest. I thought he was going
Really?
to get in the fridge and die, and I was like, wow, that was all right, actually. But no, he got out.
It
I don't know
fits in.
how.
Is that your main fault with Joker?
It actually is.
That he
that
got
scene,
out of the fridge?
No, that scene has really stuck with me, and I cannot get it out of my head that he got in the fridge. How did he get out? How did Indiana Jones get out of the fridge? That's a story for
Nuclear
another day.
explosion blew the door off.
Yeah, I think that might have been.
No,
it.
he kicked it open though.
Yeah,
and it
but
was
I think
still
I
imagine
think,
it
I
would
think
have
the
been
damage
weakened.
it might have been damaged enough so he could kick it open.
I don't know.
And other nuances in film.
But wasn't there like a whole thing in like the British, like, oh, kids, don't go play in scrapyards,
Yeah,
you'll
they
get
had
stuck in
full-
fridges.
Yeah.
It was
Public service
dangerous.
announcements
Yeah.
about it, like narrated by Sean Bean.
We got told
Paul
about that
Bean.
in school as well. And
Yeah.
the first
Really?
thing we did was go out and see if we could find a fridge.
I don't
Was.
think I was
Getting
ever
it.
warned not to get in a fridge.
I
so
was.
My parents clearly did a bad job.
I just
They
I
should have
did-
told you.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite hobbies now.
I went to a small school. There was nothing better to do than just like climb in a fridge.
And just hang out for a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, off topic.
But for Joker, the other day on Arif's recommendation, I watched King of Comedy, the Scorsese film, and I thought it was a very good film until I realised, hold on a minute.
This is Joker.
No, Joker is this.
Joker is
Joker
this.
is this. Joker ripped off everything from King of Comedy, which was baffling because I can't think of like one scene in Joker that isn't taken from Taxi Driver or King of Comedy and is also good. The main plot beats of the film, I feel, are carbon copies of like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. So like the end when he's on the talk show with Robert De Niro is identical to the end of King of Comedy where he's on the talk show after kidnapping the talk show host. Spoilers for King of Comedy as well. Sorry, forgot to mention.
If you're listening to this
Yeah.
and you've already got this deep,
Yeah.
there might be a couple of spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers just for everything.
Spoilers for every
spoilers
film
for potentially
ever made.
every film that is mentioned in here. So a lot of the films that have been nominated for the Oscars, I was running through the list before, and marking at what I thought was going to win. I've not seen most of them,
Haven't you?
No, I've not watched most of these films, and I feel as a film student, I'm slacking like
Yeah.
quite a lot.
We're all disappointed.
Yeah.
I think it's easier nowadays because you don't have to go to the cinema as much because a lot of those films are Netflix originals
Yeah.
Marriage Story,
Yeah.
and
or
Irishman.
online, and even then you can pirate things if you wait long enough. But I suppose we get sort of discounted tickets and stuff for being
Yeah.
film students, so it's
Yeah,
it's more encouraged, I think. But because a lot of them were online, that was a lot easier. And like the thing is with Marriage Story, I paused it and came back to it and watched it twice and did all of this.
Do you think that do you think Netflix should be allowed to be having their films on in the Oscars? Is
I think
it?
so.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not?
Because Irishman is. I was watching behind the scenes stuff with Martin Scorsese, and he talked about how no studio was willing to fund it apart from Netflix.
Mhm.
So it's not much. I think for some people, there's no other option than Netflix if no major studios are gonna pick it up, especially like a Scorsese film, which is guaranteed to.
So you reckon we should be considering Netflix a production company rather than an online streaming service
Well,
now,
I think,
more
like,
than anything?
Yeah.
Bit
Yeah.
of both. Yeah.
I think Netflix though is you can follow it because Netflix weren't being considered, and then they paid so much money into campaigning, and they sent their films directly to the people that do the Oscar consideration instead of doing it quote unquote properly, which is like
Yeah.
you put it up
Through
and
the
then they decide
cinema
through
and-
there, but they just went we're going to send it straight to these people, and then those people saw it on the merits of their own Netflix film and put it forwards, and then Netflix went, okay, great, let's make sure they win by sending loads of iPads to people and, like people like Margot Robbie round to people's houses to watch it with them and talk about it. And that's how it became more legitimized. But I think it's the same thing as like BBC Three Online. That stuff is still very funny in some cases. We can't just discount it because it's the internet. It's like discounting YouTubers just because they're YouTubers.
Yeah.
You can't,
Okay, that's
you
interesting.
have to react. I mean, they didn't like cinema when it first came out because they're like, it's
No.
not theatre. You've had
It's
2
not
goes at
theatre.
it. That's
Yeah.
that doesn't count.
Look into a box and watch a man run about.
No, not on this watch.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's interesting.
So I think you
No.
have to move with the times. I think it's the next
Yeah.
natural progression. And if you're like me, you get to watch things with the subtitles on, and we get to have Bandersnatch.
I hate subtitles.
I-
I have a passionate
People
hatred for
who
subtitles.
don't put the subtitles on can't read.
I think
Like,
subtitles.
No, I
Can't
don't
read
have a, no, I
fast.
don't have a problem of the reading's not the problem. I feel distracted from watching what else is going on because I feel I'm drawn to the subtitles. Other films that have been nominated. Does anyone want to talk? So we've had a little bit of Joker. I'm sure that'll come back up soon. Does anyone have any really pressing, irritating things?
Yes.
Go
I
on.
mean, obviously, I'm a woman in film. They just
Oh,
weren't.
yeah.
They just decided, nah. And like, if you look at the list, the last female nomination that we had was 2018 Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird for Best Picture.
I haven't
and
even seen that. I don't
you
even know what that is.
should see that. It's
on
Lady Bird
really
is
good.
amazing.
Then we had Catherine Bigelow and The Hurt Locker, and then 2004 of Sofia Coppola. And I find that sometimes, as much as I love the Oscars, it can make you feel a little bit like, I'm so sick of putting
Straight
all of
white
my
men.
effort in, just knowing the fact that I'm not going to get as far because I'm not a man. It's like, do you know what I mean? How much work do I have to put in? Because it's not, I know a lot of people make the thing of like, oh, but female-directed films haven't come up this year. I'm like, are you kidding? Look
Little
at the
Women.
Little Women, the Harriet Turner film, Hustlers, all of these amazing films that have come up, and there just haven't been, there hasn't been a single nomination. And I've forgotten who plays it, but the woman who plays Harriet Turner in that film, the film Harriet, which,
Cynthia.
yeah, an absolute win for people named Harriet because you don't get them. I grew up my entire life not having my name on like the keychains, and I was is the only person of color nominated, and it's just like, imagine. I suppose you guys can't, but imagine being told that you are fundamentally less than someone else.
Because your name's Harriet.
Because my name is Harriet. Well, my dad was going to call me Hugo Buchanan, so I dodged a bullet there.
No, that's an
That-
epic
that
win
is
game.
I
a
would have been
good
bullied
name.
at school. But like, being told that you are fundamentally not as good because you're a woman, because you're you present as a woman. Obviously, it's not just about sex. It's just that outwardly a cis woman. It's really discouraging, and award shows like this, that the Oscars is the best of the best of the best, and so it's saying that you can never reach this level that the men can because of who you are, can sometimes be a real kick in the teeth. That when you're sitting there and you're watching all these nominations, like if you type in Martin Scorsese, for example, Martin Scorsese Oscars, it will come up with all these things. If you type in Greta Gerwig Oscars, it comes up with Oscars dress. And it's immediately about how she looks, what she's wearing, who she came with. And I'm like, no. Let's focus on the fact that this woman is breaking down walls. She's breaking boundaries. She's made some of the best cinema that we have seen in years. She is just as good as any man. And that's not just saying that in a format. She's one of the golden age, the revitalization of golden cinema. But no, you
Definitely,
can't.
yeah.
You can't come in. And I think it's a massive shame. And it's just... I just think it's not talked about enough. And I think a lot of people say that, part of the reason they've done it is to cause controversy. They're doing it because the people at the top who vote haven't, we haven't had the new wave of Academy voters yet.
Yeah, I think. It's hard. I'm doing a little bit of devil's advocate, but wouldn't you say that the films that have been nominated are better than potentially the films that?
Not
maybe
some
the
of
female.
them.
I know. Okay,
Not some of them.
I'm playing.
You want to say that Little Women is better, isn't as good as some of those films?
Some of them are trash.
You could knock out a few of them for Little Women.
Ford v Ferrari is like the most okay film I've seen this award season.
I when I saw the trailer, I just thought this looks like Top Gear, but like
It's
crap.
a dad film.
Yeah.
It's like
It
the
is
most
good for
dad
dads.
film.
If you want to feel like a dad, because
Go and
that's something
watch
I
the
will
film.
never experience.
So
that Ferrari.
You went and
Yeah.
watched it, and you were like, ooh.
And I was like,
feel
yeah,
go
I
home
feel like a
on
dad.
Easter.
I wanted to call my dad after that film. Be like,
You'll just walk out of the
Do you wanna have
cinema
a chat?
making bad jokes.
yeah.
Or walk out the cinema saying, "Oh, that Ferrari."
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Whoa.
the
To be fair, it did make me want
gearbox
to.
on that.
It did make me want to go home and get into my Ford and drive it as fast as I can down the M1, which
Yeah.
isn't probably a good thing to encourage. But yeah, there are just, where are the women?
I mean, especially in the best
Not
director
represented.
category, like
Best director,
We
where
have-
is she?
Todd Phillips, he directed The Hangover, but Greta Gerwig isn't there. Like, how is Todd Phillips above Greta Gerwig?
I mean, I understand
mean,
that he's there for the Joker, but at the
I
same
think-
time,
But even then, was that a better directed film than Little Women?
no.
Little Women
In
had
my-
multiple
Joker. In
my
timelines.
opinion.
It had a big ensemble who were all amazing, and Joker was mainly just Joaquin Phoenix improvising.
And
Where-
running around and going.
And I
Yeah.
think that the person who should get the credit for Joker is Phoenix, because it's
Oh,
his,
definitely,
it's on
yeah.
his back. And as much as
he
as much as
carried
people
that film.
dislike the film, I think you have to give credit to him. Whereas Little Women and Harriet was, the way it was directed. The thing that's good about it is the direction. Obviously, the actresses are brilliant and the actors are brilliant, but that came from the direction. And so I just think it's an absolute, it's a sham. And I think it's a shame that since 2010, there's been one Best Director win by a woman.
Yeah.
One. And no women of
it's
colour.
despicable, isn't it?
It's absolutely
It is despicable.
And where are the? That's just white women as well. White women who present as women. So there's been no transgender wins and no people of color win.
I think the Oscars is very much like it's a funnel, isn't it? And it's a very
Yeah.
tight
White
funnel with like a
people.
lot of filters
Yeah.
before you can get to the Oscars. There's a lot of red tape you need to
And
cross
politics, yeah.
and politics between it, and there's probably a lot of, I don't want to say it, but probably a lot of money in pockets transferring around a
Definitely.
little bit, I think,
Oh, of
and a
course
lot of
there
these
is.
films that are getting in are probably not to the standard that they should be winning awards. And
You can buy an Oscar for a certain price.
yeah,
Effectively.
basically,
We
yeah,
have a
and
gift
it's
shop out back.
yeah. It's like as students applying to a film festival. It's not very
Yeah.
well respected just because you got the laurel kind of thing. But
Pretty
okay,
much.
the Oscars is like obviously a
Yeah.
lot bigger than that. But if you pay enough money, eventually you can get anywhere.
I mean, why else would The Irishman be there?
How dare you?
Do you think The Irishman wasn't very good?
I think it was an hour and a half too long.
I disagree.
It was after
hate long
It
the
films.
could have.
first.
It did. It
2
could have been in
hours.
two.
There
It
were-
could have been in two sections.
It could
Yeah.
have just ended.
Like had an intermission.
Oh yeah, I think
Why don't they make it into series instead?
yeah, I think 3.5 hour runtime is
Despicable as
No,
well.
I mean,
It's
That is-
excessive
think
and
it's
self-indulgent.
It's a
It's
li-
horrible.
It's a little bit looking at yourself
I
in the
feel-
mirror and thinking you're the best.
I feel like a 3.5 hour runtime is a bit excessive, but I feel like the kind of structure of it makes sense. So like, there's not really, looking at it from my perspective, I don't think there's like a specific hour you could just get rid of.
The entire last hour.
But the thing
Really?
is, no,
Yeah, I was
again,
so
I disagree
bored.
because the whole film is framed as Frank Sheeran's confession of like, oh yeah,
Spoilers for
Sorry,
The
sorry.
Irishman.
yeah, thank you.
Go and watch The Irishman.
Watch The Irishman. It's
Pause
good.
Or
this.
don't.
Go watch
Yeah.
The Irishman. Come back.
It's two
I've
against
not
one.
seen it. Sorry.
You're
I'm,
lucky.
I'm
The whole
perfectly in the
film-
middle about this
yeah.
situation. I
The
think
whole film is framed
half an hour
around
less.
his confession of like being involved in the 50s, 60s crime scene of like Philadelphia and like the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa and all that jazz.
Has it not been done before though?
But it's based on a true story.
It is the
Yeah, but-
same as
but it-
every other Scorsese film
Is
he
it
has
not-
ever made.
Again,
Is
I
it not the
doubt.
same as
Slander.
every gangster?
Yes, it's identical
Exactly.
sort
to
of,
Silence.
Oh yeah.
Oh
and-
yeah, it's
Well,
exactly
I'm
the
about-
same.
I'm
But
about
that's
to
why
come
we
to
like
that.
it.
That's
Because,
why it's
the
bad
last
then,
hour and
right?
a half like is essential. I saw it as an anti-Goodfellas because
Mm.
whereas Goodfellas is quite like it quite glamorizes that criminal lifestyle. It's like, yeah, you get fast cars, you get nice cars, you get lots of money, you get the ladies. Whereas here, after spoiler alert, massive spoiler alert, after Frank kills Jimmy Hoffa, then it just becomes really bleak and depressing. It's like, yeah, he got sent down for like about 20 years on like another charge, and because of that, he missed out on like his entire like 20 years of his whole life. Then his whole family disowned him for being involved with like the whole crime scene, and all his friends, because they were in the crime scene, he either killed them or they died by other. And the last like about
Tragic
hour and
means.
the last hour is him essentially repenting for that, like, but being unable to because it's just him on his own. He's a dying old man.
That
He's, like,
sounds boring.
It really
sounds-
is.
Yeah.
It really
Right.
is.
That's the one swear
It's-
word I've used for the
Yeah.
podcast, by the way.
I'm not.
Good.
It's good. I'm not describing it well.
No, you're not giving it
No, I'm not
poetic
making it.
justice.
Yeah, But it's like it's different to the rest of the film because it's quite like somber, like reflective of like him, like, oh yeah, I made a big boo boo, and there's no.
Is there a lot of flashbacks?
Not well.
Is it just
the whole
him
film
hanging
is-
around making tea and hobbling around
it's
his
like,
house?
And they put the
It's
camera in a
less exciting than
fridge,
that.
and there's like
and he opens
shots
the
of
fridge.
and there's
Yeah.
shots of people's alarms going off. It's like a student film. The last
the guy's
hour,
eyes opening
it just
is the
yeah,
first shot.
it just goes. It's directed by a 12-year-old. The last hour.
I just think we shouldn't be, as much as it's clearly a big cinematic achievement. Like it is, I can see that it's a good film. It may not be for me, but I just think we should be rewarding more original films than just
Yeah.
Scorsese doing his thing again. Like on the Best Picture list, like why was Knives Out not nominated? Because that is original. I've never seen anything like it. Yet The Irishman is just
Knives Out
Scorsese again.
is on the list.
It's not
it's
Best
right
Picture
Best original
nominated.
screenplay.
It's best original script. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Knives
but
Out
it should
just
be
for
Wasn't
Chris
Best
Evans in that
Picture.
jumper.
Wasn't it
though.
wasn't it very cleverly written? That's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
another film I've not seen. Wasn't it very cleverly written
that's
though?
why
The
I-
screenplay is
It was-
amazing.
I think it's one of those films that you could almost get away with reading and not seeing, but you should see it for Chris
Definitely.
Evans in the knitted jumper.
And also Daniel Craig doing an amazing southern accent.
Yeah, and Daniel Craig's southern accent.
inside the donut hole.
It kind of wavers sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he says certain words and you're like, that's your James Bond British accent.
That's the problem
just-
with actors doing accents. They always slip in and out.
I really
of-
liked it. Like it was
still
fun.
works.
It was
Yeah.
funny. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
perhaps intended to be funny,
No.
but there is something. It was a good film to see, and I'm glad I went to see
Yeah.
it.
It's a fun film to just turn your brain off and have a good time
Yeah,
watching people
and
try
then-
and solve a mystery.
And then at the end, you have that bit of like, whoa! And your
Yeah.
friend next to you going, oh, I called it. And you go, no, you didn't. And you get to have that little, like, it's a good first date film.
Yeah.
you don't need to watch it all.
Did you watch
Oh.
it as a first date?
I didn't know. I watched Joker
Oh.
as a first date.
Oh,
film.
Okay.
no.
I
Oh,
actually did
no.
watch Knives Out as a first date, and I can tell you it is a good first date film.
Oh,
And did
nice.
it work? Did you get a second date?
Yeah,
Nice. That's
Clearly
it's
Did
the
she try and
jumper.
murder you?
clearly
is-
I can
it's-
just credit Ryan
it's Chris
Johnson for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Chris Evans in the jumper. That's why.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
I mean, like, I understand the hype around that, but there was an unnecessary amount of hype. Like, it wasn't.
The Knives Out?
He's not. No,
his
for Chris-
jumper,
his
yeah.
jumper. He's not. It's not that hot. Like, it's good. It's just not like, you know.
I think it's
up
more
to
because
the
I want a
standard.
jumper like that. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice
I
jump.
to be fair, if you know, if that became a trend, I wouldn't be upset about it.
Come for the murder mystery safe and knitwear.
Yeah. Yes, that's gonna be my
Get that on the
birthday party.
poster.
That's gonna be my birthday party invitation. I don't know why I'm sending out invitations to a birthday party, but I want it to be that.
Just everyone turn up in knitwear.
Yeah, it's just a knitwear themed murder mystery party.
Not even murder mystery, just
Just-
we
just
all wear
knitwear.
nice jumpers
Yeah,
that
and
we
just-
made ourselves.
Yeah,
That sounds really cute.
Yeah.
and
it's
quite
that's
wholesome,
so
really.
wholesome.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
have that as like a podcast celebration?
Yeah, can we all just
Oscar
wear
party, but everyone wears
Oscar?
knitwear.
Yeah, knitwear.
Does Avengers deserve best visual effects?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Why?
I think so.
Fight me on that because everything is green screen in that film. Everything's fake, and if you're gonna make an entire film from the ground up with VFX, they should get it. Also, they should get it because I just want Robert Downey Jr. to be happy.
But is it?
He just
is
looks-
it?
Well, he
He'll
didn't
never
do the
be happy.
VFX.
He didn't do it
And he starred in
personally.
Doolittle. He'll never be happy.
No,
He looks miserable in that film.
I think
Probably
he got.
is.
I think he had like one more film left on his Marvel contract, and Disney were like, "We're not letting you go," and he was like, "Oh God, okay,
Please.
please."
Just no more.
I
Is
mean, to be-
Doolittle an Iron Man prequel?
Yes,
Hell yeah.
watch them in order. But Doolittle,
classic.
I think Doolittle. I like to imagine Doolittle comes between 1 and 2 for Iron Man.
Okay.
Well, do you know what? We should all boycott the Oscars next year,
We should, yes. I
like
mean,
I do every year.
we should just let more women in. We
Yeah.
should
That's not going to happen.
get rid of the old white men who says that women can't do it. And we
I
know
mean,
it's old white men
They'll
because
be gone soon
Mm.
enough.
they
They're
released a
quite
photo.
old.
That's not just me being like
just
an
Clint Eastwood.
SJW like person. They released a photo of the people that vote,
Oh.
and it's like it's yeah.
And you know what one film doesn't have women in it, but is amazing? The Lighthouse. That was an awful segue, but I really
It
want to
really
talk about
was.
The Lighthouse.
I really want to talk about The Lighthouse as well, but I don't want to right now.
Dylan, did you enjoy The Lighthouse? It's hard to tell sometimes.
Well, Alex,
I know you love your Lovecraft horror.
for me, The Lighthouse was my favourite film of 2019 and absolutely snubbed at the Oscars because, hot damn, Willem Dafoe did a perform. How did Tom Hanks get nominated for a performance and Willem Dafoe didn't? That's not
I
to
think
say
the
Tom Hanks is
question's
bad.
more, why did Joe Pesci and Al Pacino get nominated for the same performances they do every single time?
Al Pacino was quite different, I thought. But Joe Pesci was sat behind his chair with his 20-inch thick, big glasses.
I
don't want Joe Pesci to change, though. I just
No,
like Joe
no,
Pesci the way he is.
But should he be rewarded for doing the same thing?
I mean, yes, but not with an
Definitely.
Oscar. With like a participation medal you can get from like Tesco. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Not
We'll
with an
give
Oscar.
him-
Plastic medal.
We'll give him a Tesco's.
Yeah, participation medal, definitely. He deserves one. Maybe from Tesco.
Of course.
Yeah, Aldi, I think.
Aldi.
Tesco's
own
a
brand.
bit
Yeah.
upmarket.
Yeah,
You
it
gotta
is a
go
little bit,
Tesco
isn't it?
for Pesci.
Yeah, I'd give him
Pesci's a
Tesco.
Tesco man.
Yeah.
What was what do you think is going to win Best Picture?
Well, I think
What options were there?
It
What
would be-
options do we have?
Let me check. We have Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women is on there, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Now, I'd like everyone to have one. Everyone's allowed to say one of these films, and then we'll sort of have a little debate about it.
Okay.
In a
is this
second.
what we think or what we want?
What do you want? What do you want to win?
Parasite, 100%.
Well, I want Little Women to win.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I would like to see. I don't know. I would like to see Parasite win. To be honest, I don't think it will, because it's too. I don't know.
Eat the
Cultural.
rich. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I think it's going to clean up in other aspects. I just don't think they'll give it Best Picture.
I really hope they do.
What will win then?
1917.
Or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think 1917 might be a bit too British, if
It's-
that makes sense. I
yeah.
really enjoyed 1917. I thought it was amazing, but I can't. Do you know what I mean when I say it feels too British? It definitely feels like a British story.
Well, it's
And-
got Benedict Cumberbatch in.
Yeah.
So.
We all love a bit of Benidorm Cumberland.
Mhm.
But it's been sweeping everywhere. I can't see anything else winning.
I think because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is quite I don't want to get all national about it, saying only American films win the Oscars, but it feels like quite an American, a strong American contender to win the Oscars. I reckon,
Yeah, but if
especially
they
with
haven't
Tarantino's track record.
rewarded Tarantino yet, and this is not his best film,
But I
why
think
would
they're
they
going
reward
to.
him now?
I think they'll probably give it to Joker.
See,
If
Oh,
they do,
God.
I swear to God.
no, see, I think they're
Let's
going
not even
they're
consider
to
that.
reward Tarantino just like they did with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm.
That was not Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance, but
Oh,
they
no.
had to give it to him eventually, basically, because they understood that award was basically saying, okay, we think that everything you've done up to this point, and obviously that film has been really good, and because Tarantino's come out and said, "Oh, I'm making one more," they're like, "Oh no, we can't wait and see if we can give it to the next one." I just think that one, and it feels like old school Hollywood, and old school Hollywood films, for example, like Green Book last year was like an old school style Hollywood film, and so was Shape of Water, and so was Moonlight. Even going back to what's it called? It was a film based on old Hollywood.
Hail Caesar?
No, it won
Okay,
a
no,
few.
never
Hail
mind then.
Seals is coming out. Wait.
Yeah,
The Coen Brothers one
the Coen Brothers one as
from
well.
about 2016.
Yeah.
Oh.
But films like that like to win because the people that vote for them go, "Ooh, that's where we live, and that's what's going on here."
It's a
and
bit tragic, really, isn't it?
yeah, and I also think it's a very middle ground film, as in a lot of people like it and a lot of people don't. But like with Joker, nobody's up in arms about it, and with other films like that, nobody's really gunning for them in the same sort of way. So if that wins Best Picture, everyone will go, okay. And there'll be
Makes
some
sense. Yeah.
Twitter controversy about should it have won or should it not have won. Margot Robbie doesn't speak in it, and Tarantino likes feet, and then we'll all joke about
Ha ha ha.
we'll all joke
lol.
about that for
everyone,
a while.
Everyone likes
But,
feet films.
If the Joker wins, there's going to be so much uproar, and it will almost
Yeah.
the Academy don't
It's
want
too
more
controversial.
uproar. Yeah,
No.
because
Yeah.
people
They
go
make
like, oh, you're
controversial
just
choices,
yeah,
but
you're
that'd
just
be
applauding.
too controversial.
I don't want it to, but it will win, in my opinion.
I don't buy the argument that they're going to reward Tarantino, because I don't think they actually like Tarantino as much as
I don't either.
Yeah,
I mean, he
that's
should have
fair.
won
Has
for
he-
Taxi Driver.
Has he
'cause-
ever won?
No, he's
Any
never
of
he's
these?
never
Taxi
won,
Driver.
and he hasn't made a really good film in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like Kill Bill was his last
Good film.
good film.
So
it
is a good film, though. Well, good set of films.
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2's not as powerful as the first one, but the first, I don't know. I think it's a nice ending to. It's like a nice wrap up.
Well, I don't think that they like Tarantino as much as people think they like him, because otherwise he would have already won.
Like multiple times.
Yeah. I can see them maybe doing what they did for Black Klansman last year, where they gave it
Screenplay.
I mean, I don't think it will win screenplay, but they might give him something. But I can't see him winning director or best picture.
I think he's too weird. Like,
Yeah.
he gives me, like, creepy energy. Like, the way he looks at, like, people and the way...
Did you see his BAFTA speech?
No, I didn't
speech,
see
he
that.
came out and said, I'm not going to thank anyone because I wrote it and I directed it and yay me. And it was the most awkward 3 minutes.
Christ.
It was brilliant for him. Everyone else was going, but they really like Margot Robbie. And so I think they just want to give things to Margot Robbie.
And just
Why?
Because she's
she
nice.
doesn't deserve it.
Two BAFTA nominations in the same category was
That was a
ridiculous.
bit intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really upping your chances there. You're doubling down, aren't you?
As much as I
It's-
like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because I'm a big fan of like 60s Hollywood and that era for that whole like aesthetic and like storytelling value, she doesn't do much as Sharon Tate. Like, she kind of gets across the theme of like, oh yeah, fading, like the star image is kind of degrading. But apart from that, within the narrative, apart from like the finale, she doesn't really contribute much, and it just feels like Margot Robbie rather than like, oh boy, this is Sharon Tate, she's back from the dead.
Tarantino did a whole thing about how him not letting Margot Robbie speak or Sharon Tate speak was like a commentary on women in Hollywood at that time, and that's just, you just don't like, just come out and say it. Come on, it's all right.
He literally throttled a woman.
Yeah,
in,
exactly.
Inglourious Bastards, didn't he?
Yeah, it's just come out and say you don't like women. It's like, it's not fine, but at least that's honest.
At least we know that finally he tells the truth. Have you seen that video of him outside Tim Hortons? And he like
He just smacks the,
he smacks
the
camera.
paparazzi on the head.
I love that video. I don't know. It gives me like me in the morning energy.
It reminds me of that one video of Kanye West where he's like in his garage and the
It's just hanging out.
and the paparazzi walk up to him and go, "Good morning, Kanye," and he's like, "Go away." It's like 2 a.m.
Poor guy, man. I'd hate to be famous. It would be crap, wouldn't it?
I'd
You'd
like to be
really like.
Famous like Maroon 5 famous, where they can play the Super Bowl and then just no one cares. No one's ever gone, oh, I love Maroon 5, let's put some Maroon 5 on, you know.
And
I'm
Maroon
glad-
5 not your favourite band?
They are, obviously.
Yeah.
But who do you think's going to win Best Director?
Ooh.
Who
I
do you
mean,
think's going
it's
for
I
that?
don't
Going
even
to
know.
be Sam Mendes.
Hmm.
As much as I'd love Bong Joon-ho to win, because Parasite is an absolute masterpiece, Sam Mendes will win, because the Oscars can't seem to get past the thing that a film's one take. Oh, wow, that must be an achievement.
But it's not, though. I hate
Exactly.
that.
It's a fake.
Everyone's like, oh, it's one take, but it's like obviously not a one take film.
It's like Birdman did really well in the Oscars because it has that impression of one take. And whenever there's a film like that, they think, oh wow, this is a masterpiece, even if the film's not good.
Well, like you say, is it all the old men? Just they like, oh wow, that was really good. That I can't do that, so it must be impressive.
I think it is genuinely quite impressive
Yeah.
anyway. I think it definitely should be up there for something like production design or even VFX, to be honest, because it won for VFX at the BAFTAs.
Yeah.
Because the way they did it was very impressive, and the fact that most of it is practical is
Some of
also very cool.
some of the scenes in that film look
Yeah.
absolutely
Amazing.
incredible.
Like the dogfight.
Yeah,
Mm.
it got me though. Like
I
I
like
was
the one where
sitting
he's
there
running
watching it, and I was
along
like,
the
I want to
trenches.
check on my
That's
friends.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
be like, are you guys all right? It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You know,
It's not real. Well, it was real.
it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
World War
it's
One
not real
was
now.
I
yeah.
don't believe in World War One. It didn't happen.
Yeah, it's all, it's
I
all
felt
fake.
Moving
awkwardly
on.
silent after I said that.
I was just, what? My whole life is a lie.
I feel like 1917 is definitely going to win Best Cinematography, which annoys me
It
because it
should.
deserves it. But like,
you're going to talk about The Lighthouse.
I am.
How The Lighthouse is up for best
Because-
cinematography.
Yeah,
And it should win.
it should win. But because 1917 is more like technically impressive, it's going to win. Whereas,
Rather than black and white.
well, it's more than
4:3.
It's more than black and white. 4:3. It's just.
I
it just
literally
looks-
watched this film like yesterday, by the way. So
it's
I'm
so
like,
nice. It looks like the low angles, the high angles,
Yeah.
just everything. Oh,
The colour.
chef
I say
kiss.
colour, I mean the light
Yeah.
and the dark. It's
Yeah.
very nice. They've done
Yeah.
a very good job of highlighting stuff, and the framing is quite cool,
Yeah.
and it really does draw you in.
But it also further annoys me because if it's been nominated for Best Cinematography, then that shows like the Academy have considered it,
Yeah.
but won't consider anything else, aka Willem Dafoe's performance, which is so
Robert Pattinson
deserving.
was weak though in that film. He was bad in that
Yeah.
film.
Really?
I
I
thought he
mean,
was.
I
I
thought
thought
it
he
was-
was.
he was
I thought he was
bad.
great, but
No.
compared to Willem Dafoe screaming at the top of his lungs like a sea curse just because Robert
That was
Pattinson
fun,
said
though.
he doesn't like his lobster.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let Neptune strike ye dead, and just going
Yeah.
off for about 5 minutes about how he wants him to die painfully.
Yeah.
That's
that
how
was
we
a
should
fun-
react to
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That's how I
Just shouting
reacted,
a
yeah.
sea curse at people.
When I
Anyone
next see
see
Dylan
curses.
cooking, I will just curse him.
Curse ye where ye stand. Oh, that film really got to me though. It
Yeah.
was a bit. It's a bit intense. I'm surprised they've
definitely,
even
yeah.
considered it for anything
I'm,
because it's a bit art house.
I
So
can see that, yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised that.
They
any-
like art house now more.
Do
They're
they?
getting
don't
there.
think
They're
they
getting
do.
better with art house
Mm.
because before it used to be.
Has anything won though? Anything proper
Oh,
art house won
no,
yet? No.
No, but it's more and more nominated, so that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is nice, I guess.
If it was about 5 years ago, I couldn't see The Lighthouse being nominated for anything, let alone cinematography.
No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a good film though. I
Mm.
thought it was definitely interesting. I'd maybe watch it again, not for another year though or two.
I
Yeah.
wanted to, when I watched
Cool
The Lighthouse,
film.
I wanted to show it to people because I watched it by myself.
Oh.
Why?
I don't because someone said you should watch this, and I went okay. Like as soon as I got about halfway through and I paused it and I went to go and get a flatmate and said you have to come and watch this, and they were like I don't want to watch this. It's like 2 a.m. and I was like no, you have to come and watch this, and I started it again and I was like you have to sit down and watch this with me. Because it felt wrong to almost experience it by myself. I know
Yeah.
that sounds like really, really pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
I
But,
get
like,
what you mean.
It is a film, like,
Yeah.
like watching Star Wars. You want to see Star Wars with your dad.
Oh no, I see Star Wars on my own.
Oh, no, I see it with my brother because my brother laughs at all the wrong moments.
Oh,
Like
same.
at the opening crawl when it said Palpatine has come back from the dead, my brother let out a laugh that was so loud, everyone turned around. He went, ha ha ha! And it was like, this is so embarrassing. Like, he won't hold back.
Yeah.
Primal reaction to
Yeah,
film.
like just halfway through, he just goes, "Don't like this anymore," and I'm like, "Alex, shut up!
You
Please
take him
be
to see
quiet."
cats, and halfway through, he just starts crawling around and meowing.
No, he did get up and leave though.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm
wow.
not kidding.
That
About
seems
10
like
minutes,
the right reaction.
10 minutes
They're
in, he
only-
just went, "No, I'm not watching this anymore." He just
Was
left.
it Judi Dench that said it was the best thing? It was the role she was born for, or something. Was it Judi? I can't remember
It was
who it
because
was.
Judy Dench was in the original musical production and then like
Oh,
broke
was
her
she?
ankle or something and then couldn't be in it. So she was like, "I've been waiting so long to return to this role because I can't."
And then she was horribly CGI'd as a cat.
With
Did you see
human
her
hands.
hand glitch?
Yeah.
Her hand glitched in and out, and so did Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo's like face like
I
glitched
didn't
out.
even know he was like in that film.
Seeing
That was
Jason
huge.
Derulo as a naked cat man has ruined me.
We should give Jason Derulo an Oscar.
We
Why
should
is
do
he
it
not
for
nominated?
the lifetime achievement one they do
Yeah,
at the end,
exactly.
just for cats.
Or just in memoriam of his career.
That is.
We should
yeah.
give J-Lo should have been nominated for Hustlers.
I've not seen that film.
I
Never
did
have I.
not see Hustlers.
It's really good. I know it's a very very female film, and I mean that because it's like all females and it's a little bit stick it to the man. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're
Nothing wrong with that.
We're female strippers and we hate men, and it's good though. I mean, it's not just about that. Obviously, it has a lot
Yeah.
more. It has a lot of deeper meanings, but it is a good film. It's good if you want to
Feel
warm your heart a
empowered.
little bit.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to see Cardi B in something. I just didn't want
She's
to
not in it that
support
much.
her.
She's not in it. That
I found
much.
that out
She's fine.
after it had already been out of cinemas. And I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I should have gone and seen it.
Speaking of films with double meaning, what did you all think of Jojo Rabbit?
What?
Jojo
What?
Rabbit.
No,
Jojo Rabbit's more
I
like
know the film.
it's
What
it's not
segue
actually
was that?
about like Hitler, is it?
Oh no, I get what you mean.
No, he's imagining it, right?
Yeah.
As far as I've not actually seen it, but I know from the trailer that it's him imagining it. Do you think we should keep making film about Nazis? Do you think there's
Yes.
just
I
yeah?
think if they're as original as Jojo Rabbit is, then yes. But just not the same
We just don't need
old,
to make-
boring war films again.
You just don't need another Private Ryan.
I think Jojo Rabbit for me was like the most emotional film I've seen this award season. Like through the whole third act, I was sobbing on my own in the cinema, just on the front row because that was the only seat left, breaking my neck, looking upward.
I hate sitting at the front of the
No,
cinema.
but it was the
Oh,
only
man.
option. And I was like, I really want to see Jojo Rabbit, but I don't want to break my neck. But
But you
here
saw
we
it
are.
anyway.
Yeah. And I'm
Have you seen it?
And you
all the
broke your
better for
neck.
it. Yeah. for the whole week, my neck was just craned upwards like that. But it was worth it because Jojo Rabbit was an excellent film. Like, I know it's gonna win Best Adapted Screenplay.
It's not Waititi's best though. I don't think.
But I still really enjoyed it. What We Do in the Shadows will forever be his magnum opus.
I think Hunt for the Wilder People is his best by a long way.
You're one of those, are you?
Not Thor Ragnarok.
I mean, I do. As much as I'm not a Marvel fan, Thor Ragnarok, genuinely brilliant.
I really like Marvel. I really do. Like,
I hate it.
I know
with
I
a
shouldn't,
passion.
but like I started watching it when I'm really young, and so there was almost a part of me that's like, I'm gonna see this through. I think I'll see the Black Widow film because I like Black Widow as a character.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after that, I'm probably done with it because I'm like, I've seen this now. Thanks. I'll put it to rest.
I feel like his Endgame was that like.
It was the Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you not feel like it was a little bit of like a well done Marvel like the whole time, sort of shaking its own hand?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
And I liked
but
it.
I feel like it worked well because it was like if you treat that as like this is the last Marvel film we're ever gonna make,
but
then that's a good way to.
Yeah, but they
go up.
literally announced two new films right after like okay, two more coming out next year, and everyone doesn't care anymore.
Weren't they showing the Spider-Man trailer before they showed Endgame? So it's like,
I know, that's
Spider-Man
ridiculous.
does
Why
survive.
did they do that?
They couldn't do it because there was a massive Endgame spoiler in the Spider-Man trailer.
The first trailer where it's just a Spider-Man slinging about to say, "Hey kids, they're making another Spider-Man film."
Oh yeah, they showed that one. Yeah. Do you not
That's
like Marvel?
so stupid.
I never saw either of the latest Avengers films. I think the last one I saw was Thor Ragnarok, and that was just because it was a Waititi film.
Hot take, but I preferred Infinity War to Endgame.
I agree.
Oh, okay, not that hot of a take.
It's not that hot of a take. I found Endgame. Endgame was a film just to tie up all the loose ends. It didn't really feel like a film in the sense of like this is what we're completing. It was kind of like a look at all these people. We've got everyone like a crossover episode on Disney Channel.
I get that, yeah.
Whereas Infinity War felt more like
an actual standalone.
Yeah, you could you can't watch Endgame without the others, but you could probably watch Infinity War.
So I was encouraged to go to the cinema just to watch Endgame. I'd never seen any of the other Avengers films. I've not even watched Marvel since the first Spider-Man film with Tobey Maguire. Yeah,
what a man.
What a film though.
Man.
That is. I was talking about this film yesterday. I was thinking, wow, what a good film the original Spider-Man was. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Starring Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, starring William Dafoe as well.
What's with you and William Dafoe?
He's a good
guy.
He's
in The Lighthouse. That's good enough. That's all it takes.
Dylan gets obsessed with different actors at different times.
How dare you?
At the moment, it's Willem Dafoe. Who you were?
It was
obsessed
Richard E.
with,
Grant last award season.
Richard E. Grant.
I left the room when he didn't win Best Supporting Actor.
It was not a surprise, but for some reason you were shocked and appalled. You had your little Marlon Brando phase.
No, I've still got the Marlon Brando.
I mean, yeah, that hasn't finished yet,
spot on,
which is such a shame.
Go on then.
No, please don't encourage this.
Do it.
No.
Do it. Do it. You can't
Aarif
bring up
said
that you can do it. You
well.
can do a Marlon
Why
Brando
I should
impression.
not have brought this up. This was a
You should have.
mistake.
Thank you so much. Go on.
Give us a line.
No,
someone
can
deliver.
pick.
Someone like start him off.
Oh no.
Do it.
And the Academy Award. The Academy Award for Best Picture goes to Joker. And then that is awful. That was awful.
I hope that's the last time I
Thank
ever
you.
hear those words.
Thank you for bringing that up.
No, I regret it.
No, I don't. I'm taking that as a sound bite.
Please don't.
I'm gonna edit it so it looks like Joker's one.
What? Just play it during the Oscars. Imagine if it does win, though.
Oh god.
Oh, I don't want to imagine that.
God.
I'll go to bed.
I can see. On a related note to Marlon Brando, I can see Joaquin rejecting his Oscar if he wins it because he's been that
rejecting it.
Because when Marlon Brando won the Oscar for The Godfather, he didn't turn up in person. He sent I think it was a Native American advocate in his place.
Or he just turns up dressed as imaginary Hitler, and everyone's just uncomfortable for 5 minutes.
But I can see him rejecting it because he's been that I don't know what the word is, but outspoken for when he accepted his BAFTA. He was quite outspoken against racism in the industry.
Oh,
so I can full on see
that is a whole kettle of fish that I hate about the Oscars.
I can see him full on rejecting it, saying no, I'm not.
Racist.
I'm not accepting this until conditions improve, and then whole backlash.
Yeah,
but the Oscars is racist.
No, not that they're racist, but more that the people that go up and win these awards, they go up on stage and they look around at everyone and they say, "Thank you for this award. Now you should all give money to charity and save the people that are dying, because I can't." I physically can't do it. I can win this award, but I can't do anything about it. And you should do it, but I can't. You should do it though. Save the climate, save the world, and then they go and they sit down again, and you're like, wow, great, thanks.
Joaquin Phoenix got up at the BAFTAs and gave a big speech about racism and said that he hadn't done everything in his power to improve it, and he vows to. So,
well, okay,
he showed that he would.
He's acknowledging.
Yeah,
There's a
few
actually
people
follows through with that though.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, he got arrested with Jane
I
Fonda.
hope he will. Yeah, he did.
He's been added to that list.
People being arrested with Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
That's an absolute bucket list right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it is a little bit pretentious.
I think the
like
best
when people say
acceptance
that
speech-
and you feel, I don't know, you're just like, well, how am I supposed to feel? What can I do realistically?
Yeah, it's like they're the super rich people
Yeah, exactly.
telling us normal people that
Give your money
you're
away.
the ones that need to give your money to charity, not us.
Yeah, it's shocking.
I think the best acceptance speech that's ever happened in the Oscars was when Hitchcock won an honorary one. And he just walked up to the mic. It took him about 5 seconds as he's just plodding along. And he takes it, leans into the mic and goes, "Thank you." And then he walks off, and that's it.
And
That's the whole speech, and it's amazing.
I feel like that's what it should be like. Just get up, get your award, and sit back down again, because we don't want to hear it. We don't care.
Or the "you like me, you really like me" one. You know, when she gets, I can't remember who it is, but she gets her Oscar and she talks about how she believed she wouldn't get it and that everyone hates her, so she holds it and she just goes, "You like me, you really like me." And she didn't actually say it.
I don't know what
And we can't forget
Wow.
Olivia Colman last year blowing a
that's all
raspberry
Lady
when they
Gaga.
told her to hurry up.
Classic. Just
Well-
give Olivia Colman this Oscar.
Yeah.
Well, just hand it off.
for the favourite again.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
her 2.
That's fair. Is there any other interesting areas? I'm sure there's loads. How about the documentaries? Have you guys seen any of the documentaries?
Where is Apollo 11? That's right. It was the front runner sweeping everything, and it's just not there. Because they did the same last year with the documentary category, because Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood was sweeping like it was going to win, and then they didn't nominate it. It seems like that's a trend that's happening at the moment, is that they're not nominating the front runner in documentary. Because Apollo 11 was an incredible film, but it just has been completely snubbed.
Yeah. The short ones, Walk, Run, Cha Cha was very good. I quite enjoyed that. I don't know if you've seen that. It was about this like cute little. I think they were a Vietnamese couple, and how their
haven't seen
story
any
of
of
getting
the
out of
shorts.
Vietnam and stuff. And yeah,
I always feel bad because I always have to guess on the short ones because I just
which one you think would
never
might
get
win?
a chance to see. I hope that it's Learn to Skateboard in a War Zone because I just think the name's really cool.
Yeah, the name is cool. Yeah, I quite like that. But
And
should we?
it's quite a good film, so.
Yeah. Is it about women? Empowerment and
Yes,
stuff?
and skateboarding,
And skateboarding
war
and
zones.
wars.
Yes. So
Also, everything in the title.
That's all you
Yeah.
could ever want.
I like films with Fall Out Boy titles. I think more films should have like ridiculously long titles. Just put the synopsis in the film title, and just call it like this is a film about whatever.
Oh, who wants to see Arthur Fleck as a 20-year-old man who aspires to be a comedy and just list off the whole Wikipedia description for the plot of Joker?
Yeah. And that's what we call it. And that's just it, yeah. You said you were going to see Shaun the Sheep. I want to have more context.
Well, Aardman are the best production company in the world.
They definitely are.
I never got a
give you
chance
that.
to see it though, because
Farmageddon.
I
Was it
never saw
Farmageddon?
it. Yeah,
Is that what it was called? Yeah.
because the first Shaun the Sheep film is a masterpiece, because it's a modern piece of science cinema, which I think is excellent and one of the best animated films of the last 10 years.
I
But
do
I
love
didn't-
their style.
Oh, it's
The
just
style is
so
incredible.
good.
The
But I
walls
never
are
got a
lovely.
chance to see Farmageddon, and I was gutted.
I don't know if it'll be as good because I think it was quite a little bit of CGI included rather than.
But it's still Aardman.
Yeah.
And my Lord and Saviour Mark Commode loved it, and I take his word as
Gospel.
God.
Do
So
you?
Yeah.
With his Jack Howard podcast.
well, let's not plug out the podcast. Obviously,
No,
this is the
no,
best one.
obviously,
This is the
I do
podcast.
listen to that all the
Yes.
time.
Oh.
I do like Mark Commode. I like how if you watch Mark Commode's review on Cats, just how upset he looks. Like if you watch the actual video, he just looks genuinely upset and like quite distressed. And I feel a bit bad for him, but at the same time, it's really funny.
Because obviously he's never seen a film
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah, and obviously as soon as it ends, he looks so relieved. He's like, and he like really takes a moment, and he goes a bit white. It's beautiful.
His soul re-enters his
Yeah.
body.
I think Cats I'm surprised Cats didn't. I think if Cats had been better animated, I think it should have just been an animated film from the start. I think if it got better animated, it would have swept for the sort of like VFX costume design sort of things.
Really though, I don't know if it was that incredible. Like,
it was definitely
visually,
like Oscar bait. Because Tom Hooper, not gonna lie, not a fan of him as a director, but he's a very Oscar baity director.
Cats is Juliette's favourite film of the year. Just everyone know that is her opinion.
Not just the
that
year,
is not
any
the
year.
views of the film production podcast.
It is.
No,
it is.
We all think
It
it's
is.
a beautiful
We'll take a vote.
masterpiece,
It's
and
like-
Jason Derulo has been sorely overlooked.
You know how they do like rowdy screenings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yeah.
Oh, they should
This
do that
is
with
this
Cats.
generation's
Oh my
Rocky
God.
Horror
There's
Picture
gonna be
Show.
furries going. You know that, don't you? It's gonna be.
I'm so excited.
Can we all just go and get fursuits and go and see Cats,
I
please?
won't get a fursuit, but I will wear a knitted jumper, and I'll meet you
Okay,
halfway.
that's
I'll put
fair.
some cat ears on.
And I'll do
That's
something
fair.
Lighthouse related.
Yeah.
That is a
There you go.
surprise, Dylan.
You
You shock me every time.
like-
I'll go dressed as
fish.
the lighthouse.
You'll be the lighthouse.
Just get an Airbnb
beacon of
at the
hope.
lighthouse and just like watch the lighthouse in it.
Of course. And drink kerosene.
God.
Who do you think's gonna win Best Actress?
Oh, it's gonna be Renee Zellweger. I don't think
Which-
it should be, but it will.
I watched Judy earlier today, and I think I'm the only person who has, because I don't think it was even that good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Stan and Ollie was released like last awards season, and it feels like they were made by the same like production company, I think, and it shows because they do seem like very, very similar. How it's like a faded American stars go to England for one last hurrah, like kind of farewell
Yeah.
show / tour type thing. But Stan and Ollie is better, and I don't know why.
It didn't win
Gee.
anything.
Yeah.
Did
But
you
they
think?
included it in the opening montage of the Oscars, but didn't give it any awards, which is like salt in the wound.
It's a
Like,
bit.
your film's good, but not great.
Did you think that Renee Zellweger is good enough to win this Oscar?
I honestly don't think so. Like, because watching it, like, she was good, but not like amazing. Like, not quite like Rami Malek being Freddie Mercury or like Gary Oldman being Churchill. Those are the only two like Oscar contenders for like real people that have came to mind. Even like the BAFTA, I think Scarlett Johansson is far more deserving of the award than Renee Zellweger, even though she's good in the role. But Scarlett Johansson is just so emotional compared to Renee Zellweger, which is just kind of doing a bad American accent, even though she's American.
She's doing a bad American accent.
Even though
as
she's
an
American, yeah.
If
You know what I mean, though.
if
Sure.
we're
It's a
talking
different
about
American accent.
Yeah.
the Best Actress category, where is Lupita Nyong'o? Because
Yes.
she had two of the best performances of the year in the same film, yet she's been completely overlooked.
Absolutely.
Either because the
I wonder why
Oscars
that
don't
is.
like horror, or more likely, they don't like people of colour.
Yep, both. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great for horror.
No.
Spicy, not very politically correct for the Oscars.
I mean, is that a
But very
surprise?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
I'm not
great.
surprised. It's disappointing. I hate them. I don't watch the Oscars because of like stupid reasons like this.
Yeah.
It's firstly, it's kind of boring. 2, it's on too late. It's past my bedtime. Gonna be honest. 3, you could just watch a catch up. It's basically the same thing. Just watch the best speeches, and if anyone like shouts and screams and stuff, which is kind of fun. Don't spend your time, valuable time. Watch films instead.
Yeah.
See, as much.
I think it's the pomp and circumstance of staying up late with your friends. I think that's part of the fun.
Yeah, and I love complaining about it.
Wine and cheese.
It's getting harder to love complaining about it now, though, because it's not just, oh, they didn't nominate this film that I quite like. Now it's like, oh, look at all of these women and people of colour that they've blatantly ignored.
Yeah.
It's not as fun anymore.
Do you think they'll pull another kind of La La Land Moonlight stunt?
I hope they do.
That
Wait.
that
That
would
would
be
be
beautiful.
La La Land won, didn't it? And Moonlight
then-
didn't.
Moonlight won, but they announced
Yeah.
La La Land because they
So,
took the wrong card.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
that's
started giving the
hilarious.
La La Land speech, and then Moonlight people came up saying like, "Oh no, we meant to say Moonlight. Sorry guys."
Tragic.
Yeah, it was so awkward. But I want something like that to happen. I don't know if
Do you
that
think it was a publicity thing or?
I
Absolutely.
don't know.
Yeah.
I-
Because it got people talking about the Oscars again.
Yeah, because they weren't.
Yeah.
They were
See,
a bit,
I don't because they looked genuinely very panicked. I think they did plan
Yeah.
There were a few moments throughout that thing, throughout that show where they were like, "Oh, this is a publicity stunt," but that one there was like genuine
Yeah.
Fear.
panic when he ran on. He was like, "Oh God, we're all getting killed. We're all going to be taken into a field and shot like a horse." It was terrifying. It was really funny though.
Yeah. Hopefully some shenanigans happens again.
Just
a little
some
bit of a
drama.
mix-up. Yeah, a little bit of drama.
Just bring Adam Sandler in
Drunkenness.
to kick everyone out for not being nominated.
Yeah, I'd never thought I'd say it, but justice for Adam Sandler.
Justice
Where
for Adam
is
Sandler. Yeah, I'd never say I want Adam Sandler to win an Oscar, let alone be nominated for
Wasn't
one.
his film very good though?
Uncut
the one
Gems
yeah.
was
he? Yeah, it's really good.
Wow. Beautiful.
But
Is it on Netflix?
yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I
And
thought it
it's-
was.
The only time I felt like I was going to keel over and have a heart attack watching a film because Jesus Christ, it's so stressful.
The
It is.
only time you need to watch some like further out there films.
You know what I mean. Well, I'm not exactly going to keel over and have a heart attack to cats, am I?
Oh, you might.
I mean,
Well,
you don't know,
yeah,
you probably
Well,
will.
when you say it like that.
How do you
Yeah.
find the time to watch so many films? I don't understand because I don't.
You just
I don't
don't
have the
sleep.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And also-
look over your other responsibilities. Be like, I have a 15-page script due tomorrow, but also I need to watch Ford v Ferrari.
Also,
You
you
want
can
to
count
feel like
it.
a dad.
You
Yeah.
can be like, I'm a film student, so this is part of my course. This is like counts to my independent study hours. Let's watch a film, and then suddenly, you feel like you've done something, and then your lecturer says, "What have you watched recently?" And you can be like, "Oh, I've watched this," and that will bring you 3 seconds of joy over the panic
When their face goes.
of the
Oh, yeah, I've heard of
complete
that.
panic of leaving everything else to the last minute
course.
and just going, "Ah!"
Haha.
It
Yeah.
helps if you don't sleep as well. I started Uncut Gems at about 1 a.m. last night, so didn't get to sleep until about 4. So
Is it
jeez.
quite long?
it's
like
2 and a bit hours.
Yeah.
I hate long films. They don't deserve it. They should have their own category.
Don't watch The Irishman then.
No,
Or
I
don't
don't-
watch it
no.
anyway. But
No,
like,
I don't want
especially
to.
if you don't like long
I don't
Watch
want
it in
to.
4 sittings.
What do you count as a long film though? Like over 90 minutes.
Right. 2 hours is pushing it.
Weak
One and a-
sauce. Weak
like,
sauce.
No, it's not weak. No,
It
you
is
should
weak.
Weak
you
sauce.
should be able to fit your film within an hour 30.
What if it's a really big story?
Then make it into 2 films.
No.
No.
Yeah.
But then people kick
If
off.
it's a really
They're
big
like,
story,
this could be one
cut it
film. You get
down.
Hobbit syndrome.
Yeah, but The Hobbits is 14 hours.
I mean,
of
yeah,
walking.
Hobbit doesn't deserve to be 3 films long.
No, it doesn't.
I hated The Hobbit. That's another film. I was sat there like that watching The Hobbit.
breaking your neck.
It was a tragedy. My friend fell asleep. I just didn't enjoy it.
Did you see?
Is that the only tragedy you had
Well,
when
The
watching
Did you see The
Hobbit?
Hobbit?
Your friend
I-
fell asleep?
Yeah.
When I saw the first Hobbit, I didn't realise they were splitting it into 3 films. So when it finished, I was just like, "What?"
Wait, is it ended already?
Yeah. I hadn't read the book, so I just thought that was how it ended.
And you were like, oh.
I was like, "Oh, what is that?"
Yeah, it was a
Hmm.
bit. It wasn't. That was a bad film.
Yeah.
Bad
It was a
3
mistake
films.
all round.
Yeah.
Apart from Martin Freeman, because
Yeah,
he's great in
yeah.
everything.
But it's just a shame
And
because
Benadryl
Lord of the
Cabbage
Rings-
Patch is the dragon. What's his
Yeah,
name?
that was
Ben,
completely unnecessary.
Oh yeah, and he was like crawling around and stuff. Did you see the video of him
Oh
like
God,
running
yeah,
around
he's having
and
the
he had
time
his...
of his life.
Ben
isn't he?
Yeah.
Stitch, yeah.
That's a good video as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch that video if you've not seen it. What's his name again? Do you want to just repeat it for everyone? Yeah.
No, he can't do it.
You
Go
can't
on,
do
it's
it.
all right.
Benidorm, Cumberland.
Yeah. Just look him up. You'll find a video
Yeah.
of him running around as Schmaug.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like. That's how they should have done Cats.
No, that is how they did
Just
Cats.
all of
Is it
Benedict
actually?
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, like motion capture.
And then they just
No, the thing is that they didn't motion capture it,
Didn't they?
and that's why it looks so weird.
Mm.
Because they told the CGI people just eyeball it, like just
Oh, jeez.
No way.
yeah, it
Did
wasn't
they?
mocap.
But then how could they get like Taylor Swift's face so weirdly on a cat?
I mean, I don't know how they did it. I'm not a
Because
visual effects guy,
they
but
took Taylor Swift's face and they basically
They
stretched
stretched
it and
it
then add
over a
fur
cat.
to the
Oh,
side. And then they just went, this is fine.
This
It
looks
looks
half
human enough.
okay.
She tried so hard in that film. Like, I do like Taylor Swift.
I
but,
feel like everyone thought like it would be okay.
it's not.
And then.
It's
oh
just that,
boy.
like, if you watch the rest of the film, Taylor Swift is trying so hard. She's putting, like, her absolute all into it, and it just doesn't go well. She's like a really enthusiastic kid at, like, a drama school audition.
Oh God.
She's trying her absolute hardest. She's
Yeah.
really, like, going for it all the time, and it just doesn't work. Because then Idris Elba takes off his fur coat because for some reason his cat wears a fur coat and then he's completely naked, and that's just not something you ever want to see.
His cat wears a fur coat?
His cat wears a fur
So
coat.
would that be the equivalent of like a person wearing like a
Skin.
Buffalo
Yeah.
Bill coat, like made of human faces?
Yeah.
So Cats is just Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Silence of the Kittens.
At one point, I thought two of the cats were going to kiss, and I felt physically repulsed. Like, I actually gagged a little bit. Like, I had to look away from the screen, because... Can you just say something else so we can move on?
Just something that isn't Cats.
Yeah. I just don't want to think about it anymore.
Production design. Parasite should win.
Production design.
Absolutely.
No, it should win best editing.
No, well, it should win both.
It can only win
No.
one.
But
No, it can't.
It can only win one because it's not English.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Or
it's
American.
only okay. We've got to assume that it's only allowed to win one, which it
Okay.
probably will, and I think it
Yeah.
should win editing.
I
I'd
think
rather it win editing because that's more, almost, not
Up
more
its street.
prestigious, but it's, yeah.
Yeah.
well, I think it will win. I think with a lot of the technicals, it might win more than we think. Like, I think they're gonna give it a lot of credit, and I
I
think
hope so.
in terms of best picture, if anything's gonna beat 1917, I think it will be Parasite.
Do you think a
Okay.
foreign film would win?
Well, I mean, last year Roma was the front runner. Like, it swept everything other than the Oscars, and then it was upset by Green Book. So I think this year 1917 is in that position. Like, it's swept everywhere else.
But maybe not the Oscars
Yeah, and I think if they're going to give it to anything else, it could be Parasite.
or the Joker.
Don't you
That's
dare.
not even
Stop saying
humour,
it.
that.
You're willing it into the world.
I don't want it to happen.
If it
either.
wins, I'm
Then stop
blaming
saying
you.
it.
I mean,
Personally.
I did it. Oh, do you know what? I'm not even getting into the Joker thing again. But you know, Parasite. I think it should win editing, and Best Picture would be cool as well. Yeah, I would like to see it win Best Picture.
For production design, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will win because they've clearly put a lot of dedication into recreating that kind of like late 60s Hollywood like setting. So that's why there are so many shots of Brad Pitt just driving around, because you can see like in the streets there's just miles and miles of like real cars and real like magazine stands
Yeah.
with real magazines in them, and people. There's just so much effort has been put into it. Like,
Yeah.
whereas really they could have done it with a green screen.
Mhm.
And the fact they didn't and chose to just get miles and miles of like old Chevys and all that, just
Do you not think that building actual trenches and dressing up like hundreds of people in World War One era costume and getting them to run across a field is not more impressive though in
But
production
that's
design
not
wise?
just production design, though. Production design is everything that you know. It's a lot more credit than just dressing people up and making them run in a field.
yeah.
Because we could do that anyway. How many people have we got on this course? Like 300?
Yeah, try and wrangle the film production students. They can barely like make a film.
Yeah,
At
to
the
be
end
fair,
of
we
that
can't-
field, there's £20.
We can't do anything.
Yeah.
1917, like, that's all been done before. Like, we've seen that in so many war films. Like,
true.
Dunkirk had hundreds of people on a beach. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
And it
But-
had
That's fair.
styles.
I'd argue for Parasite, like,
Weird
they
choice,
built
but yeah.
they built an entire street from scratch. Like, the street in Parasite is a set, and apparently people in Korea didn't realize, and they just thought it was a street.
What?
And the house, like the rich people's house, was built so precisely that they even considered where the sun would come up in the window for some of the
For
shots.
some of the
Like,
shots,
it's built
yeah.
at such a precise angle.
That's interesting. I didn't know
And
that.
I think it's going to be overlooked because it does just look like a street and a house. But that's because it's so
It's
well done.
Maybe it should win for that reason, but most people probably won't vote for that. Can we just have a few closing words about the Oscars for our amazing viewer base, fan
Should we
base?
take it one at a time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Alex, after you.
No, Dylan, you can go first.
Okay. Joker bad, Lighthouse good.
Okay, nice, short and sweet.
Pretty much that. It's fun. Don't take it too seriously, but at the same time, it's incredibly serious. It's a contradiction in and of itself.
I'd just say, don't bother watching The Lighthouse. No, not The Lighthouse. Don't bother watching The Irishman. And Lackey Stanfield should have been nominated for Uncut Gems.
I feel like both of yours were a lot more poignant than mine.
Do you want to try
Do you wanna-
again?
yeah, do you wanna go
I'll
again?
roll with that. I'll
Okay.
roll with
Okay, you're gonna stick with it.
Lighthouse
Yeah.
good, Joker bad.
Joker bad.
Sorry,
That is
Joker
Joker
bad.
bad.
Right, thank you guys. It's been an incredible, very informative podcast. We've learnt a lot. I know I have. I haven't watched barely any of the films on the Oscars, so thank you for enlightening me on the ins and outs. More women, less Joker, no Irishman. Maybe
and also watch Parasite.
Also Parasite.
And also watch Lighthouse.
Just go and watch films and
make
your own
opinions.
opinions.
Yeah, make your own decisions.
Cats.
Especially Cats.
I think it's important to watch. Yeah, watch Cats. It's
Buy
important.
it on Blu-ray when it comes out.
Oh, I definitely will.
Don't buy it on Blu-ray. Rent out a whole cinema screen just to have it on loop.
Yeah, just yourself.
Just you.
Late night, midnight screening. What else are you gonna do?
Just me, just watching Cats by myself.
Just heckling.
Okay, right. Thank you guys. Amazing guests. Wonderful. Hopefully we'll get you back on at some other point.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.